Welcome. I've created a series of open channel flow animations that I'd like to share with you. This animation is one in a series of videos I've made that examines how normal depth varies with several different channel or flow properties. Here we examine the role of Manning's roughness parameter. Before we start this animation, let's go over the different subfigures on the screen. So the upper right figure is simply a depiction of the actual flow in the channel. You can't see Manning's roughness parameter, so this ticker will change across the bottom as the animation unfolds. We're looking at the tail end of the animation here when we're at our roughest value of the Manning's end parameter, 0.04. What you will see as the animation unfolds is the depth will be changing in the channel, and you'll see that we actually commence with a smooth channel and supercritical flow, so the depth of flow in blue is actually less than the critical depth shown by the red dashed line, and as the animation unfolds, the depth simply increases. In the upper left figure, we're looking at various measures as they vary with increasing roughness. The channel depth is in blue, the hydraulic radius is in magenta, and the Froude number, which you can see passes through 1 around here, is shown in cyan. Obviously, where it crosses 1, that's where we cross from supercritical initially to subcritical flow, and that's why this black horizontal bar appears here. Again, we're plotting versus Manning's end. We're looking at the different depth ranges and what kind of gradually varied flow profile would exist in those depth ranges. So if we're less than critical slope, we're supercritical, and so for deep depths, we'll have an S1 curve. Critical depth is about 1.5, so if once we go less than that, then we're supercritical on an S2 curve, and if we get shallow enough, then it's an S3 curve. And you should note that this long apparently diagonal line here is actually exactly the normal depth that's shown in this upper graph. On the other side of the coin, when the critical roughness is larger and therefore the flow is mild, for depths less than critical depth, we'll have M3 curves. For depths that are less than normal depth but still greater than critical depth, that's where the M2 curves will live. And then for depths that are greater than normal depth and mild, those will be the M1 curves. Finally, in the lower right, we see an energy depth or EY diagram, and 3 depths are plotted: the normal depth with the blue circle, the alternate depth, so the same energy depth is shown in magenta, and then the conjugate to the normal depth is shown in cyan. And we'll see that these depths dance around the EY curve as the animation unfolds. So let's back this up to the start and let this thing go. So you can see it's already moving. Let me pause it there before we pass through critical conditions. You can see that we have just portions of the graphs that we were looking at before. The flow depth is ever so slightly less than critical. We're about to reach critical conditions. You can see that the Froude number is about to cross the value of 1, meaning a transition from supercritical to subcritical. And because we're so close to critical depth, all 3 depths here, the normal, the alternate, and the conjugate, are all extremely close to just simply the critical minimum depth. We'll let this play out a little bit further. You can see that the normal depth is now moving up the EY diagram, its alternate is moving down, And as the flow gets more severe, you can see that the conjugate is getting separated from the alternate. Let me pause it there. Nothing particularly remarkable to look at anywhere else. Everything is just evolving along rather straight trajectories. Normal depth is increasing, the hydraulic radius is increasing, and the Froude number is decreasing. We're growing increasingly mild. You can see that the flow depth is now a fair bit separated, a fair bit greater than the critical depth. And again, down on the EY diagram, we have normal depth, its alternate, and then this would be the conjugate depth if there were to be a jump from supercritical to subcritical flow. Let's watch the animation through to completion. And there you have it. So thank you very much for your attention. I would welcome you to place any questions or comments you have in the area below. Also, you can click in the description to watch the other videos explaining concepts from my book. Thank you very much.